Hello, everybody. Can you hear us loud and click down? Can you hear me still?
I can hear you. Sorry,
I
you
can hear
caught
you.
me
Sweet.
in the middle of typing an email. I should concentrate, really, shouldn't I? Sorry.
Always working.
Always
working.
on. Always, yeah. Always networking. So.
What's going on, chat? Hello, everybody. Big Timer, Trickster, Scooby, hashtag bring back boss fish. It's already begun. I've told Des, but there's no plans. There's no plans. Download.
Scooby from HMV. You know it, Scooby. I've been glued to old Bojo and glad to know that come April I can get a haircut. So
yeah, exactly. I'm just like, I don't know if I can go that long. My head grows back so quick. Like, and it's pretty messy. So, but hopefully I can survive. But yeah, today we're on Mickle. We're gonna go for hedge for a little bit.
We're going to drive into a hedge, did you say?
We're going to drive into the hedge for a little bit. No, we're going to go for hedge, one of the boss fish. And then we'll see how it goes from there.
And what is hedge?
He is a roach.
Okay.
He is a 4-pound roach. But he's one of the boss fish that not that many people have caught. So we're going to try and get him.
I'm going to apologise again at the start of this because I know that I can't see myself, which is always weird on these streams. I know you've created a nice little box for me, but I've got two monitors up, so I'm looking at the game on one side and I'm watching the chat in the other, and I'm probably not looking at anyone. So apologies for that. It's
No, you're bang in the middle, mate.
Oh, that's all good then. But looking to the right as if I've got wonky eyes or something. But,
yeah.
Scooby, get the big razors out. I'm not brave enough, Scooby. It might not grow back. It's not growing as quick as I'd like it to anyway. It's a bit of a
I thought
bit nerve-wracking this to understand that my hair doesn't grow as quickly as it used to. So I'm definitely not going to shave it. Been there, done now in my youth, and look stupid. So.
Oh well, I thought about doing it last lockdown, and then I got Hannah to cut my hair.
So. I've not been on the last couple. The last time we did it, we were on Nelson, weren't we?
We were on Nelson, and then we went on to
Iquitos, Laguna Iquitos.
Yes, that was the one. Yeah, and I was doing terrible.
Yeah, but so in the last game, you tried to teach everyone a new method for catching carp by almost chumming the water with lures first. So
it's funny because before the stream, you didn't bring this up at all, and I thought you'd forgot.
No. But so what crazy method are you going to show us tonight on how to catch roach?
No crazy method. No crazy method. I'm going to show you exactly what I've got in my setup.
Okay.
And then let me just cast these bad boys out. I did learn last stream that you could do a 1-speed retrieve with a dead bait. I didn't know you could do that.
Okay. You've really upset me there with your lines crossed. Yeah, you've got rod 3 on your right hand side, fishing to the left. That really frustrates me. Like, does it
not work like this in real life? Is it not? You can just
no, you get your lines all tangled up, mate. Come on.
This is what we're using.
We're supposed to know what we're doing.
We got size 8 hooks because, as far as I'm aware, my documents are right. You can't actually catch a roach on anything higher than a size 8. And we're going with a tiger nut, imitation white maggot, and chopped worm because they are 3 different types of bait that hedge would go for. And at the moment, it's morning, which is the most likely time roach. Well, the best time for roach, but it's also like the best time for other fish as well. So we might move it into the afternoon where it's not so good for roach, but it's considerably less catch rates for all other fish. Do you see what I mean? So it'll kind of like balance out our chances of catching specifically roach. But
you're trying to stack the odds in your favour. I like it.
Yeah, we're trying to. I did a little bit of research today, so I didn't come in like a fool.
So I've already taken the mickey out of you a little bit for chumming the water last time.
Yeah.
And just to get it all out of my system while we're waiting for some action, and I hope in 40 minutes' time we're still not sitting here waiting for some action. You had some big news on the weekend, didn't you? You should
Oh,
tell our
right, we're
community
telling
all
you. Yeah,
about
we
it.
are.
Hey,
Good
what did you do on the
news
weekend,
this
Tom?
weekend. I got engaged this weekend. I asked my
Wow.
girlfriend to marry me.
And
So yeah,
and
big
amazingly,
news.
she said yes.
She did. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Wow. Well, lockdown affects us all, right? So
Great, brilliant. This is fantastic. My spud rod's not reaching.
you're having a shocker with your spod rod, and
Yep.
and I'm abusing you for getting engaged. But congratulations.
Thank you.
Commiserations to Hannah. Congratulations to you.
Great.
So
I'll let her
well
know.
done, mate. Well done. Yeah. Yeah.
Mate, I cannot get the spod rod in the right spot.
Look, your community are asking you some really important questions here, like when's the party?
When's the party? As soon as I'm allowed.
21st of June, isn't it? By the sounds of it.
21st of June. Small one on the 29th. 6 people only. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it, though. It's exciting news.
It is. Well done. Good stuff.
Yeah. I did kind of, despite Darren saying, maybe you should take Monday off. I thought, it'll be all right. I did kind of wake up this morning thinking, yeah, I should have really taken Monday off.
Yeah. At least the Monday morning, at least. We needed you here tonight, but...
Yeah.
Oh, look at those lines. Oh, that's really hurting me.
Ball and chain of weight's great.
Oh, no. Yeah. It's an expensive mistake, isn't it, Scooby Hayes, eh? We've all been there. It's a lot of money for a piece of paper at the end of the day.
It is expensive. Already started looking at how much things cost. I can't believe it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Wow. So this is a really positive start this time. Have you checked this area out before we started, did you? And
yeah, this is like a good spot, apparently, for the fish. Well, this is like the spot to be for Hedge. If you want to catch him, it's around here. And a little bit...
Okay.
Oh, here we go. We've got a bite.
Oh, fish on.
Here we go.
Don't lose it now. Don't lose it.
Got this. Been learning, putting time in.
See, again, because of the way we're having to do this nowadays, like the good old days when we'd be sat next to each other in our little streaming room in the office. I can't, where we're miles apart and doing this through the joys of the internet, I can't hear the game either. So, have you got the old? Yeah, have you got the old heartbeat going?
It's not on this one. No, it's not. Heartbeat,
so it's not a boss fish then.
Nah.
So it's not Hedge.
We'll bring it in though. I think one of my other rods just got a bite, but I think it snapped off.
Oh no, it might have been a little line bite. We got really advanced in the catch and put line bites in.
Oh, that is a thing, right? Okay, fine. I just thought
line bites are a thing. Yeah, no. So, dear. Come then, Tom. Bully it in, as we know it's not the one we're looking for.
Yeah, I can't. He's
Oh.
I'm trying to
pumping. I like it.
Yeah,
pumping the.
yeah.
Oh, it looks like a carp.
Yeah. I think this is my first rod. I think I've got a tiger nut on this one. I should probably change the tiger nut, to be honest, because it's good for roach, but it's also really, really good for carp.
So White was one has asked a question. Does heartbeat mean specimen and boss fish?
Yeah.
Heartbeat means either a brand new species. So if you're catching a brand new species for the first time, it will play the intensity mode. The heartbeat will play. If it's a potential PB, it'll play, and if it's a boss fish, it'll play. So if the game knows it's one of those three things, then you'll get the heartbeat. So if you've caught a lot of fish, but there's a few boss fish you're after, and it starts going, then you know it's a good fish. Well done, nice fish.
Specimen, not bad at all.
Very nice fish.
But that was a tiger nut. Oh, got one on number 2. There we go.
Yeah, tiger nut might be a little bit ambitious for a roach, I would have thought. But
might change it, to be honest. I'm not getting the carp as much.
It's a flying fish.
It's not beeping on this one though.
You just killed it against the boat.
Got me a chub.
Big Timer Jay says I'm ignoring his messages. I'm not ignoring you.
We
Big
just
Timer
don't
Jay,
know, mate. We don't know.
We don't know. And I'm going to face back at you. You need new material. It's the same every week. I can't. I know no more now than I did 2 or 3 weeks ago. So.
He's hoping. every time.
He thinks I'm
Natalie from the trains team sent me a screenshot of you, Big Timer, in the train stream asking for the new game.
He's trying everything. No, your best chance. But if there is any news, and
Oh, got a bite.
there's no news that I'm aware of, but you know what your best chances are. Is Des on next week, Tom? He hasn't been on for a few weeks. Though.
He's not been on for a few. I mentioned to him last week that everybody wanted on.
Yeah.
I didn't want to talk to him about the boss fish situation.
Not just the boss fish situation.
But
Get
everything
him
else.
on and ask the questions then, Big Time. That's your best chance.
He's a busy boy. So he will be on soon. But yeah, just got to.
Yeah, he's got some stuff going on as well. In fairness to him, and so big shout to Des. And yeah, but we'll get him on again soon.
I love you on the train street. I got a koi carp here. Wait, did I change the? I didn't change the pop-up. Sorry.
Scooby Hayes doesn't love the catch. It bores him. Catch rate is poor in comps. What do you mean by that, Scooby? Is it too low or too high? Because we're always trying to balance and get things right. Oh, you got nice koi carp.
Nice koi.
Nice. This is making me want to go in real life, mate. The weather from like Thursday, Friday onwards last week. I need to get going now.
That's
and
it.
I'm hoping the 29th of March means I'll actually be allowed to go to my syndicate lake because I'll be allowed to travel more than 15, 20 minutes, or whatever it is.
That is a good point. We should go fishing.
Yes, yeah, I can take you now, can't I? In April onwards.
Teach me how to sort of cast in different directions and chum the water with lures.
Yeah, I'll teach you how to blank. Don't worry, I'm a specialist in that, so no problem.
Try and stick out.
Okay. One thing we definitely should have done though with this venue is allow. Can you fish from the shoreline? I can't remember. Not all the way around. That's fixed positions, isn't it?
Yeah, certain spots. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
See where you are now, like where that shoreline is to your left. Be epic fishing from there. So. Big Timer Jane, so no release date, Darren. For what? Big Timer, for what?
Yeah, I don't know.
I just answered your question just a minute ago. The same answer as 6 weeks ago, whenever it was. What do you want a release date for? We have no release dates for anything. We're gonna be sitting here this time next year. The world would have opened right up, but we'll still be talking about the catch and how we should have been allowing you to fish on the corner of this part of the lake, and Tom still wouldn't have caught hedge or roe.
I'll be honest with you, Darren, I hope not.
Dear.
What's going on with this one? He's acting weird. This one, he's staying real low.
He's again though. Have you got the heartbeat going?
No heartbeat on this.
Come on. You're just showing off now, aren't you? Just showing that you can catch fish.
Oh.
Chub. All that for a little chub.
Excellent. Right, let me reposition. I'm catching not a single roach here.
This boat makes me laugh. So it looks like a little bathtub. Like a
I'm just using the default wrap for literally no reason at all. Right, let's try Ray. Okay.
So here's a question for you, Tom. I'm going to throw this one at you.
Yeah, go on.
If all conditions are good, a good effect for a specific boss fish, what is the chance to get the fish? Percentage vary by boss fish.
Hang on a minute, what?
I'm not quite sure what you mean there, but give a little summary on what needs to be in place to catch a boss fish.
Okay, so if you are on a venue where you use a boat like this one, then boss fish are in specific areas, which is, for example, why we're fishing here for hedge. Whereas like on Oxleys, for example, the boss fish sort of move around the whole venue, so you can catch them kind of anywhere. And then past that, things that affect the big things that affect catch rates and whether you're going to get them or not is obviously what kind of bait you're using, the size of hook, because if you're using too big of a hook for too small of a fish, you just won't catch the fish at all. And time of day as well. So all boss fish can be caught at all times of day, but saying that, you there are times in the day where you will find it incredibly difficult to catch specific species of fish. So it's always best to, direct yourself. So for example, now in the morning is the best time to try and catch roach. Whereas in the evening, it's not impossible. It's just really, really hard. And then the only other thing as well is to make sure that you've got the right hook, whether you've got like the right rig set up. So if you're using like silt or gravel or weeds, it gives you, I think it's like a 10% boost to your catch rate. So you've also got to take that into play.
Yeah, it is. The way I sort of try to explain it is it's like putting all the pieces together of a jigsaw to a certain degree, and it's trying to mimic real life as much as possible. So a lot of it's trial and error. On the big venues like Tom says on the Ebro and on Loch Mickle, because they're such huge venues, the fish don't move from one end to the other. They stay in certain areas. Whereas on like Rotterdam or Oxley's, they can move around the whole lake. But what you're looking at is weather conditions affect where in the water the fish are likely to be, and if it's a predator, what kind of lure you should use. Obviously, brighter weather, you use like the sort of metallic, shiny type of lures. Rain and that, you use the slightly duller ones. I've probably got that the wrong way around. But then also, like Tom says, time of day is hugely important. So, we try to use known real world values in that as a better way of saying it. Now, I know catfish have evolved a lot in like the last sort of 20 years, if you like, but traditionally they are more active at night. The least active like when it's really hot in the height of the day. So that's again when they're more likely to be feeding in our game. And then it comes down to what it always comes down to in real world fishing as well. You've got to use the right rig over the right sort of lake beds. So our rigs tell you where they're best used against. So the best example I could give in this instance is a chod. Chods are best used over weed. So if you're fishing over weed with a rig that tells you it's going to sit on the bottom, then you're immediately nullifying your chances. And same as like the kind of bait. If you're using a bait that sinks like a standard boilie on a chod rig, which is designed to pop up above the surface, it's not going to be as effective. So if you can put all the different pieces of the puzzle together. And obviously, location's a big thing. There's an element of luck to that, but it's also the whole point of this game is species hunting, is hunting them down. If you find out where they are, you present a rig and a bait exactly where they want to be at the right time of day, you've got a really good chance of catching them.
Yeah, kind of the values of each thing that you get right basically stack up, and then eventually it kind
100%.
of determines your likeliness of trying to catch this. Oh god, I've got the tension set up to 90, and I literally launched this fish at my face. What is it? An eel?
Oh no, eels.
Your favourite?
Yeah. Scooby Hayes has thrown down the gauntlet. 2v2 on Fishing Sim World.
Scooby mate, we've got plans. We have got plans. Not just yet, but there are plans where we're going to do some more sort of community-based kind of versus kind of stuff. So yeah, keep practicing, mate, because we're coming for you. No,
ooh, fighting talk from Tom. I like this. I'll referee it.
I've watched his streams. He's good.
Yeah, he is.
Right, not catching any boss fish yet. And what?
So after everything we've said about boss fish, we're probably given a really bad example of how to do it. So.
What about when you play in multiplayer? I caught 3 in 3 10-minute games. Yeah, I think it's the same. The catch rate doesn't vary on mode.
Yeah, the principles apply still. So it's either luck or skill. You can decide. But if you're putting like I say, if you're joining all the dots, whether you know you're doing it or not, and you're getting it right, you're gonna reap the rewards. location is the biggest thing. It's about where they want to be on venues like this. That's the hardest thing to start with, is where could they be? You know, if Loch Mickle is about 1,500 acres, I think, and you're trying to find one fish in 1,500 acres of water, it's tough, right?
Tricky one.
But once you've got that, you know, again, you guys all talking to each other, working together. If someone can tell you where they caught that fish, where in the lake they caught that fish, it's never going to be too far away from that spot on a venue like this. So you can work together to help each other out. And Dovetail Live is a great tool for that. And the forums and the discords that Tom runs, and that people helping each other out. So on like I say, if someone catches a specific boss fish on this lake and they can sort of tell you roughly where it was, then you're not going to be too far away from it, because it will move around. It will cover, you know, probably an area of about 50 acres, but you suddenly turned a 1,500 acre lake into just a 50 acre lake to try and find that one fish, and that's half the battle on venues like this. Obviously on Oxley's and that, and what's Oxley's, 26 acres, I think. Already it's a much smaller smaller body of water to try and find that fish, and it will move all around that lake. But same principles, you know. If it's hot and sunny, then you're going to find it, you know, in shallower areas and whatnot. So always try to apply some of the real world fishing values into the game, and it should serve you well.
I moved around here a bit because I'm not catching any roach yet.
So Price Hanson GLB says, I'm assuming topographical, got there in the end, maps of lakes, etc., aren't going to happen on any current games, but is that a potential feature on any games in the future? I presume you mean then by like the depth making a difference. Is that what you're saying? Topographical, that's what it is, isn't it? It's the depth of a lake, isn't it?
Yeah.
Help me out.
Unless he means just like the contour lines on the map. Bit deep, Clarky. Don't worry, I didn't mean it. Sorry, guys. I'm sure Scooby can take it. Jesus.
Yeah, so guys, let's talk about depth. Yeah, they do make a difference. So you can see now where Tom is in the top right. We've got the sonar there, the radar, whatever you want to call it, and he's fishing in 29 feet of water. And again, that can make a difference if you're looking for predators, and you can find like a slight hole in the lake where there's a significant depth change. Then the fish could be hiding in that hole, you know, where it waits to pounce on other fish. Equally, if it's a smaller fish, then the shallower, more sort of plateaued areas of the lakes is going to be where it feels safer. So they do make a difference, but the improving them further and making you feel like they make an even bigger difference is certainly something that we can challenge Des with if you feel like you haven't noticed that makes a difference to you. But that's probably, you know, again, for people that don't know too much about it, it might be new to the game. I think it's worth talking about the sonar there and how it works. Tom, do you want to go through how it works, or do you want me to cover it off? Or?
You can cover that one off a bit because I know it on a very top level of how it works.
Okay. So what I'm going to get you to do then, reel in and just have a little drive around a little bit. Then.
Right,
so and we can talk through it while we're driving around. So basically, that sonar is telling you what is underneath right at the moment as you go through, and you can see all those fish. So there's a lot of fish in that area, but to find those fish that are shown on that radar, you need to go back to where you came from slightly, and you can see there that he's found a hole, right? It's just dropped to 41 feet, 42 feet. You can see how it's and it's going down further and further and further. And if you go back to where you came from, it'll go back up to the 29 feet again. And again, what's that showing? The different size of fish there is the different size of fish that he's come across. And the fish obviously will move. There's a fish moving now because you've stopped, but there's still fish passing underneath. And those lines are showing where in the water those fish are as well. So obviously we don't have zigs, but we do have float fishing in the game. So one thing you can bear in mind is if they're in the top layers, then you could float fish for them in the upper layers. If they're going underneath the bottom white dot, then they're hugging the bottom, so you might want to fish on the bottom. If they're on between the two white dots, if you like, then it's probably worth fishing off the bottom with a pop-up. If they're right at the top of the top white line, then it could be worth float fishing for them because they're near the surface. So that is a real sort of rough example of how it works. And again, you can see that the fish are passing under the boat while Tom's here. So there's fish in the area. Yeah, there's a very basic example of how our radar works.
Generally, in real world bass fishing, structures or sudden depth changes are generally where there's school or spawn, etc. So we use those maps often.
Absolutely, and so that's important in our game as well. Like I say, finding this hole. You can see now Tom's found this hole. He's in 43 foot where he was in 29 foot. And you can see now how many more fish are passing through. So it's like you say, it's important, right? He's found a spot here where there's a lot of fish hanging around and moving through. So it is important. What would be lovely, what would be the next stage is for you to be able to mark this spot on your sonar, for example, like using a waypoint, so that you found this hole. If Tom catches a couple of nice fish, he can mark the spot, and then when he next plays on this venue, he can go back to that spot straight away rather than having to use memory. But yeah, like I say, in real world bass fishing, I know structures or depth changes are really important. I also know about sight fishing, for example, in bass fishing, and there's lots of things that would be nice to get to in the future where we can improve things. So yeah, hopefully, Tom going to this, he's not gone very far, but he's just gone into deeper water now. And although he hasn't caught anything yet, you can see there's so many more fish.
Loads more, but nobody's biting.
Nothing's biting. So it's probably down to your setup now, Tom. But yeah, hopefully, right on cue there, Tom. You set that up perfectly for us.
Boom. And hopefully, right now, in a minute, Edge is going to bite.
Big Timer Jason, when are we getting a stock pond down? Actually, Big Timer, that is one thing I can talk about is the stock pond. We are getting the stock pond in 2027. We decided it earlier on today. We feel that by then Des would have worked it out. And if you bear with us, in 6 years' time, we'll have a stock pond for you.
We'll have it.
And by then it'll be virtual reality as well, so you'll be able to walk all around it while putting your headset on.
In 6 years, I'm going to get an email.
Mark this down, Big Timer. 22nd of February. It's quite quick for us, isn't it? 2027. I thought you'd appreciate that.
That's a fast one, yeah. Quick turnaround.
And that's commitment right there. So.
Right, I might change up my baits a little bit.
So William asks, is right to left on the radar front to back of the boat? Yes. So it's obviously a little bit confusing because obviously, like you say, front to back of the boat is right to left. So they are coming from the front, passing under the boat and going down to the back of the boat away. So it's obviously an opposite to what the radar shows, but we thought it'd be weird if we showed fish going almost upwards on a graph. So yes, it's from the front and it's going to the back, and so that's what you always need to bear in mind is when you're traveling along. If you're traveling along and you see lots of fish going under your radar, you need to turn around and retrace your steps to go back and follow where you saw them, if that makes sense, because they're always in essence moving away from you on the radar. So.
Come on, fishy. I'm determined to catch a boss fish. It's been a dry spell.
Yeah, you've. Well, are we just doing hedge all night, or are we going to be doing anything else?
Well,
it's your call.
I was determined to catch him, but if people want to see something else, then let us know. Obviously, we can.
What do people want to see? Do you want to? We can keep talking about sonar and and whatnot, or we can see something else. Let's see what people say. There's a couple of questions coming in about how the radar works. So bear with me, because obviously I'm supposed to be professional and look like I'm looking at you all the time. But we did a video about how our sonar works. I'm going to find that and put it in the chat. So
YouTube.
bear with me if it looks like I'm not painting.
Trickster's hitting me up and saying go to shallower water.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm in the right area.
Find this video.
Talk about what's coming, apparently.
2027, I told you.
Yeah, we don't want to spill the beans on it too far ahead, mate.
Here we go. Look, I found it already. Anyway, let me drop this into the chat. So this is for Fishing Sim World. This is a video for Fishing Sim World, but the principle is the same because obviously we brought it across into the catch. So that video, that little YouTube video there, is how the sonar works in our game. And now when you go and watch it, it probably is the polar opposite of everything that I've just told you, but we know for sure. So, #blame Des. Cool. Oh look, you have gone really shallow. So that's a great example, right? You're in 9 foot of water now. You can see that there's only a very small blue line. The fish are never going to be. They're only going to be pretty much in one depth compared to when you're in 45 foot of water just a minute ago. So it only shows one line. But again, you can see subtle changes between whether they're completely hugging the bottom or they're just above the bottom. So that one coming through now, look, that is really hugging the bottom. And the one after it is just above it. So bottom bait for that first one, pop up for the second one. Or even in 9 foot water, you could float fish for those second ones. And again, that's demonstrating the different sizes of fish. So the ones going along the bottom are probably carp, knowing what's in this lake, and then the smaller ones that we're seeing could be your roach, your chub, eels, anything like that. So yeah, that's a nice little demonstration. Again, the game's been kind to me to talk about this. So
Fish aren't being kind. I'm not. Have we caught a roach? I think we've caught.
I don't think you've even caught a roach, let alone the roach that you wanted.
God, I am terrible.
Spomming for roach is unusual, but I admire it.
Mate, I'm trying anything right now.
I need to get a catapult. You need to be catapulting some maggots out or something. A bit of sweet corn or something. Oh, there we go. That's a good accurate one there. Look, right over you.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Can't believe we've been on Loch Mickle for 40 minutes. It hasn't started raining yet.
Has it been 40 minutes already?
Well, at least half hour.
40 minutes of blanking. We could switch it up a bit.
Started so well for you, didn't it?
I know. I started really well at the beginning, catching loads of fish. As soon as I moved, shouldn't have moved. Three.
Got a funny feeling, Tom, right? It's not. I don't think you're going to catch hedge. I'm going to be honest. I don't have that much faith in you. But because of this little lull, I think the next fish you catch could be quite special, you know?
You reckon?
Yeah, I think it's just waiting to... It's setting you up for a really nice fish. Sorry?
Let's just tell you
that. Yeah, he's on the phone. No, he's not really.
Nada. Have you been to Loch Mickle, Darren? Oh, hang on, we got one-on-one.
Have I been to Loch Mickle?
Yeah.
No, it's fictional.
Is it fictional? I thought it was a real one.
Fictional venue. No, it's a fictional venue. And I've never been fishing in Scotland either. I've been to Scotland, obviously, and I've got relatives that live in the Shetland Islands, and I love the Shetland Islands. Beautiful place I've ever been to. But no, I've not been to a loch to fish in Scotland before. He looks really happy about that eel. That's how I'd feel.
Ecstatic.
Yeah, I'll probably jump in.
Gonna reposition back to where I was earlier.
Yeah. Look at all these fish are going past me. Look at them, stacked up. Follow your trail.
Cast back out here.
Yeah, cast back towards them.
And we'll cross my lines again. Do it like the pros. Alright, come on. I'm starting to not believe in myself here.
I've got you. I'm telling you, it's going to be special.
Yeah, I'm terrible with the spud rod. Not the spud rod, the throwing stick. Alright.
So, yeah, itch. No, even our chat's gone dead. Like, they're all bored, mate. You've lost them. They're not even throwing any abuse at us.
Oh, we got a bite. That's the number. Yeah. Not a boss fish though.
What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
Got another chub. Mate, if Hedge was a chub, I'd be well into it right now.
Your track record, maybe it's our combo, mate, because like last time we were going to tell everyone how to catch carp on Lake Nelson, and you had your weird and wacky methods, and we just had egg on our face. And now we're trying to do this, and it's just gone wrong. So maybe next time, just say you're going to go fishing. Don't make any promises about what you're going to do. And
Yeah.
then you can celebrate everything as a
set the
this is
bar
exactly
really
what I
low.
meant to do. Yeah, I meant to catch that chub. I know I
Guys,
didn't tell anyone, but that was the plan.
Today we're going to try and catch a fish, and then we'll celebrate. Rarest fish in the catch. What is the rarest fish in the catch? Is it the bull? I'm gonna say it's either the matador or the bull, right? It's on River Ebro.
So what is the rarest fish in the catch? Yeah, the bull, I think, on the Ebro has proved to be a real challenge to catch. And we've had to do some sort of specific tips on it, haven't we? Because people were saying they're not even sure if it's there.
It has been caught like a lot more since we've done that, but yeah, it's still a tricky one.
But it is a real tricky one. Yeah, the bull on the River Ebro, I'd say, is the most challenging one at the moment.
Here we go. Edge. That's you, mate. Another eel.
No, what are you doing to me? I remember actually a funny story for you, for Big Timer as well, and Scooby, because they'll appreciate this. When we released this last July, I think, the catch came out. And we were doing obviously lockdown happened last March, so we did this all remotely. And we had to do like virtual press conferences. So we had to sort of demonstrate this to different news outlets and that in the same way that we're doing this tonight. And I've shown it to doing a demo for it, and we were on Loch Mickle, and I was talking about all the different fish and like new species and that. And the first fish I ever caught in the game while I was demoing it to the press was an eel, and I referenced Scooby J, Big Timer J, and Scooby Hayes, and said to and said to the press, there's a couple of guys that have been saying that we've got to put eels in because of how adamant I was that we wouldn't. And there we go, first fish we caught.
Well,
And on the demo,
you actively didn't want to put them in.
I actively didn't want to put them in because I've got they're just horrible. They give me the creeps a little bit. I've actually caught a couple, and the first time I ever caught one in real life, I had to get the guy I was fishing with to deal with it. I just like, oh, they're like snakes. I hate snakes, and they're like, well, not sea snakes, but you know what I mean.
They're like water snakes.
Yeah, water snakes. They're like, oh no. So
amazing.
Yeah, so that's where hashtag Darren the Eel came, I think. And Des wanted to name one of the boss fish, an eel boss fish, Darren, but we.
That makes perfect sense now. Why every meeting and every opportunity you're like, so are we going to take eels out in the next day? Is that
the
oh, come on. Makes perfect sense now. Oh, I caught another one, mate. All I'm catching is eels now.
Is that an eel as well? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, see.
This
would be my worst nightmare. What I'm envisaging, right, is like if you could see under the water, there'd just be like hundreds of eels just all swimming around, and that's just like my worst fear. Oh, can you imagine?
Have a little walk around with them.
Bad enough. I used to work on the meat and fish counter at Sainsbury's when I was 16, and the people would come in asking for jelly deals, and I'd have to sort that out. It's like, oh no. So there we go.
Right, we'll still roach.
What did you bring them in? What did you bring that rod in for a little bit? Why didn't you like where it was?
Well, because it's hard for me to gauge. Like, obviously, I know like the rough area where hedge hangs out, but my point is like hard for me to gauge how far that is and whether it's like past where I should really be. So I like to keep it near my boat so I can then like.
You're getting really specific here, aren't you? But look, you're away again. Rod one.
Look, see, pulled it in.
Who am I to question you?
And another eel.
Oh, it's an eel. I said, get out of this site. Get away from me. You found a load of them. Disgusting things.
Come on, mate.
What's he doing? What are you doing?
Mate. I'm teasing. Trying to hit him against the side of the boat. On those small DLC pellets before, which ones are those?
So in our equipment pack there was some extra pellets in there. I think from Dynamite Baits.
Let me shimmy around a bit.
Come on, in the circle, mate. You're back to where you were.
Yeah, but it was going well earlier here, no?
Yeah, no, it was. Look at all them fish. Wow. Probably all eels.
Right, let's have a look. Which small pellets are we talking about? Let's switch it up because I think Pink Maggot is just bringing in all of the. Do you remember which ones they were?
No, not off the top of my head, but any of those ones that you just went past would have been good. So you got the Swimstem betanes and the mulberry. Oh no, they're pop-ups. Swimstem would be good. They're like little match ones.
Stim 7 to 9 mil, yeah. Cool. Actually, let me switch out the other two as well because the imitation maggots are not working out for.
There you go. B-Timer agrees with me. I'm going to do a shameless plug here and say that in a couple of weeks' time, I'm really excited because Dynamite have got a new boilie range coming out that I cannot wait to
not fish with.
to buy and just have in my freezer in my shed.
You put boilies in your freezer?
Yeah. If they're fresh, you got to keep them in your freezer and then defrost them. Yeah. So otherwise they'll go off. They'll go horrible. So I've got a little bait freezer in my shed because I'm not allowed to keep anything indoors.
I was literally about to say, I bet your family love you.
Yeah, so I've got a freezer in the shed which is just full of different boilies and that. So
nice.
I think actually as well I made up a little like method type mix when I last went and I didn't get through it all. So I thought, I'll go again soon and I'll just put it in the freezer, freeze it, and I'll use it again soon. And that's been sitting there since October, so that's probably it'll be frozen, but I think it's supposed to be much good now.
tucked right in the middle here.
Nice.
Bang on.
Watch the splash.
It's literally trying to get the same number each time, about 35, I think.
Bit short. It'd be hard to follow that one to watch.
We bang on.
Not bad.
So Jamie says, so if you're hunting for say £4 perch or roach, a size 8 hook is the best choice of hook.
Yep.
I'll be able to tell you exactly.
Careful.
Actually, I won't be able to tell you exactly because I have a computer. But yeah, about a size for a £4. Yeah, size 8. Possibly a size 6.
No, I wouldn't go as big as
No?
a size 6. No, 8 or 10. I think, again, what we want to do is, to a certain degree, because you can't be as realistic as real life, because sometimes you can catch, the biggest carp in the lake can sometimes be caught by accident with like someone tench fishing, for example. I think not Oxley's, but Linear is very famous, particularly in Manor Farm, for tench anglers catching some of the biggest carp in the lake when they're using like tench gear. The one thing we won't do is we won't let a fish like a roach be caught on a size 2 hook, for example, where in real life the hook wouldn't even fit in its mouth, or the bait that you'd put on a size 2 wouldn't even fit in its mouth. So if you think, what is the biggest hook that I could realistically catch that fish on, then I wouldn't go. I can't remember, because there are like values that are set up, and in the back end of the game. A 6, I would have thought would be pushing it, but a size 8 I think is your best bet. But the way it works is, an 8, a 10, or a 12 could all work potentially. There is the adage, that we sometimes use, like big bait, big hook equals big fish to a certain degree. But don't go any bigger, because as much as like an 8, a 10, or a 12 might work, a 2 or 4 definitely won't work. So
I'm looking out for these little splashes. I'm trying to, like one right in front of the boat.
what, little shows?
Is that what they're called? Little shows?
Yeah, that's called a show.
Little
Yeah.
performance. Is the
Giving
ball
away.
an actual fish? Is it? Is it an actual fish? Real life? I don't think it is.
It's not an actual. It's not a fish. It's not. It's not a real world fish. It's like one we've made up. But it's real in the game as such. In that some people were saying the ball doesn't actually exist, does it? It's impossible to catch. No, it is definitely in the game, and we've put out some specific information on how to try and target it. But all the fish in all of the lakes, apart from a couple in Oxley's, are fictional. Obviously, it's a thing on some lakes that other lakes and in Linear have got some named fish in them, and a lot of lakes around the UK have got named fish in them. So that's what we did with our boss fish. That's the principle behind it, but the majority of them are fictional that we've made up. Linear have been really good and said that we can make them up for mana. We've got the big common in there, which is obviously a known fish, the biggest fish in there, but there's not really many other fish that have got names in Oxley, so we made them up. Whereas on Manor and St John's, which are venues we've done on our previous titles, they've got a lot more named fish that we put in there. So yeah, the ball isn't a real world fish, but it is very much in our game.
It's not going well for me, Darren.
No, it's not, is it?
No.
I do admire your commitment and like you've tried to ring the changes, but not today by the looks
Hedge
of things.
eludes me today.
Maybe you should like we've got about 5 minutes left. Maybe you should just try the other time of day you're talking about. You haven't changed the time of day, have you?
Afternoon. Well, yeah. I mean, he's less likely to pick up his head. It's more likely that another fish will bite in the morning, but if anything, it means that I'll have even less fish.
Listen, it can't get much worse, can it? Because apart from eels, you haven't really shown us anything for half an hour.
Hey, I got a nice koi earlier.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about in the last half hour. You started off strong, but yeah, you rapidly faded away, I'm afraid.
Because of all the moving. All right, let me reposition one more time.
Okay, come on, bring it in. Last 5 minutes. I've got faith in you.
Got money on this.
No, I'm not that.
Right, here we go. Last time. Swing them out. Then we're going to stick one over far left. And I don't think I should really cast out much further right, because then we're going to be sort of approaching the... Oh, actually, no, we'll be alright, I think. Right.
Uncle D's joined us, and he said, "Wow, it's wonderful." I'm not sure if he's talking about your ability of playing the game or how the game looks, but it sounds like a compliment. So thank you very much. We'll take that. Kite Kaz has asked, "Has anyone caught every boss on Ebro yet?" We've had a look at this, haven't we? And not many people have they?
I think... I'm trying to think. I know that it's like really low numbers for people that have caught all of the boss fish in the game. I think somebody has caught all the boss fish on Ebro. A couple of people. But then when you talk about how many players that is, like... I like to think that people that do that would like shout from the rooftops about it, but we have so many players that sort of don't post much online. So
yeah.
yeah.
And I think, to be honest, there's something going on with consoles as well. We're talking to our partners at Xbox and PlayStation. You know, things like review scores seem to have disappeared off there, and I'm not sure how accurate what we can see in terms of like achievements, how accurate that is in terms of what the community tell us against what it's showing. I don't think always corresponds. So we're not 100% sure. We know that a few people have caught every boss on Ebro, but you're talking like less than 10%, definitely.
Small numbers.
Caroline says hi. Hi, Caroline.
Hello. Well, I think we're going to have to wrap up in a minute because it doesn't look like I'm catching hedge this evening. Unfortunate, but I should talk to Des, get some Des codes in, you know.
So if we're wrapping this up in the next minute or two, what's your final thoughts, Tom?
Final thoughts is hedge is a difficult roach to catch. Final thoughts is I actually play this game way better not on stream.
You say that, you're going to have to start recording it and posting it in like your social channels just to back up what you're saying.
Enjoyed the eel fishing, yeah. I did not. I don't think Darren did either.
No, this was you imagine this was a TV show and it was said this week Tom goes eel fishing. I think it'll probably be like the lowest rating one of all the entire series. But thanks, Tom, anyway.
You're welcome, mate. You're so far leaned back in your chair. You're just like a forehead.
That's how I'm feeling. Right, I've just slumped in my chair, going, "Oh my god, you've just taken us eel fishing." So I'll be like this if you want instead.
There you go. More accurate. Right, cool. Okay, well, let's wrap things up there. Thank you all for coming by tonight, guys. Obviously, follow us on social and whatnot, and then we'll sort of let everybody know when the next stream will be. But yeah, nothing else to sort of sign off from me. Darren, anything else you want to say to everybody?
No, I think we should be back on next week, won't we? And it'll be a Fishing Sim World one next week, I think. So whoever joins you, I hope they have more success than you did tonight.
Yeah,
and if you could put some effort in, like during the week, but ready for next week, so you can actually back up all your.
Roy's going to be back on soon, and then me and him can carry on our 1v1s.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, if you could start putting your money where your mouth is in the next couple of weeks, that'd be really great. So
Great, cool. All right, guys, thanks so much for coming tonight.
speak to you soon. Take it easy.
And see you later.
Cheers, everyone.